Yeah, I'll have a large extra butter popcorn, and she'll have snow caps. Really? Snow caps? They taste like cardboard. Okay.
Come along, it's time for you to listen to this review from DC to MCU. It's time for Rundown Reviews. Rundown Reviews. Rundown Reviews.
Scooby-Doo!
Yeah, I didn't know if you guys heard that or not. I wasn't sure.
It was choppy, but I heard it. That's
Damn it.
exciting.
Okay. Apparently there's a thing on here where I can have background music, and I'm like, oh, I'll put the actual opening music on there so that for the video people can actually hear it. Although again, no one watches the video on YouTube. So
That's exciting.
Okay.
Got a little video.
I'll see when I listen back to this. I'll see how it comes through, and
Yeah.
we'll see if I do
We're
it again.
maybe
We'll
having
comment.
a little audio issues tonight because we're waiting for something to finish on my computer. But until then, sisters, welcome to another aroused episode, maybe around here, of the Comic Book Rundown presents Rundown Reviews, brought to you by Professional Casual Network, who we're owned by, kind of.
Yes.
Pay us, but
Hey, why don't you plug the Patreon right now? That way we can get it out of the way.
well, if you did want us to get paid, you head over to patreon.com/professional casual. It's $1. Get access to the Discord, but fuck $1. Can't buy anything with $1, and we don't see it. Hit the 301 here. That's the most important tier. Directly helps us on the show. I believe at this point, as a way to garner followers over at the 301 tier. If you sign up for 1 year, you will get a shirt. The first 5 people will get a shirt of the new merchandise over at TeePublic, right? The
Redbubble and TeePublic, although TeePublic I think has a better shirt quality and it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper. It's definitely cheaper.
Yeah.
and the course over TeePublic is the new. What do we call this shirt? Is this the Joe?
Joe Cool murders the Waynes.
Okay, we're going literal. Cool.
Which is a shout out to a Bumble that I believe I made when we were covering one of the Batman movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
Listen,
it had to be made to a shirt.
If there's one that happens on this network, is people fucking up and it becoming a long joke. That's why a Hulkman armbuster exists. Because I meant to say Iron Man Hulkbuster suit, and it came out because of my dyslexia. And Armbuster. So
New shirt.
Still a joke that gets brought up apparently at conventions specifically. So, anyway, today we are talking about Gotham Knights. Which is, if you check the archives, listen to the last week's episode. We Ron had mentioned that we actually don't really like anthology movies all that much.
No, see, specifically, I did not like this anthology movie. I liked the Creep Show and Vault of Horrors and stuff. But this one right here just didn't do it for me.
Interesting.
I'm not an anthology guy most of the time. This does it a little bit better, because I do like it when they all loosely connect together.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that was a big thing for me too.
I do really like when they tell a bunch of little stories that connect back to one bigger overarching story. Especially when they plant it, the seeds of it in the beginning, and then the payoff way at the end, but all these little stories connect it. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that this movie, specifically Gotham Knights, does. We'll get into it. Also, I forgot I didn't like the animation of this movie.
I was not a big fan of the animation in this either. Especially the first one. But even when it turned into like the anime style, I still didn't like it.
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
No, the first one was absolute trash. Like, the background in the first one looked awesome, but they ruined all the effort they put into the background by making everything look like garbage that was the characters and stuff.
You know, I was just having a conversation with Clay over on Rager Alliance, over on my other network. We were talking about a certain artist, and it reminded me of that, Riley Ramos or Ramos. I can't remember the last name, but it's that the method, their art style is like, I don't want to say like fluid, but it looks like the characters would be. I mean, fluid, I guess, would be the best option. They did some art for a Harley Quinn book that came out like last year, and that art worked. However, going to like taking that artist also did art for like a Robin, and it just didn't work as well, which is big. It's important. If the art style matches the story you're telling, you could definitely get into it or not get into it. The first one, some of it was fine for me. Like when because it's all, an unreliable narrator. These kids all saw Batman and they all saw him differently. So the unreliable narrator part of that I enjoyed, because you got Batman as a shadow, you got Batman as a vampire bat, you got Batman as a robot,
which was great. The problem I had with it was that the animation was so shitty.
Okay.
Like Batman, when he was the shadow thing, he just looked like a blob. And like even when he was like, a real person and stuff, I don't know, just the whole, because of how detailed the background was in this whole thing, the really shitty character animation on it made the whole thing trash to me.
Okay.
Liked the first one.
You did or didn't?
Sorry, was that feedback?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I like this movie is based on like 4 different stories.
4 or 5.
It's 4 because it's the 3 kid stories and then the actual story that happens at the end when the one kid saves Batman from the little monster or the little bad guy that he was fighting.
Yes. For that first story, yeah. But wasn't there like 5 total stories?
6, I think.
6? Okay.
Yeah, maybe total. So what I remember from this movie is there was a bunch of anthology stories that I thought every story was told from the view of a different person in Gotham. That's what I remember this movie. And so we first like right in the first, like whatever is these telling of the run-ins with Batman and everyone experienced, and Batman looked different every single one because it's a kid's perspective. One thought that like the Shadow Empire, because it was. The other one had like a mech suit, which I thought was interesting. I liked that.
The Robo Batman was cool.
Yeah, Batman I thought was really neat. Was it supposed to be Firefly? The first one?
No, I think it was just some random.
Whoever he was, he is the fastest swimmer in the world. Because like when Batman chases him into the water and he swims away, like he is 2 seconds all the way across the fucking river from them.
Well, he goes to the docks. Because it was like backwards. Swimming. I don't know.
He's swimming. He's super fast. You know what I mean? Yeah, no worries. Anything you animate, you're 100 times faster than you'd be in life. Everybody that. I also remember when it came out, this is supposed to be the break between one and Batman and Dark Knight. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard as well. According to IMDb, though, the producers say otherwise. And if you think about it, at the very last,
otherwise.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the very last story, they're in Wayne Manor. in Batman Begins, Wayne Manor burns down. So I don't know.
It felt the thing that they threw out to sell some DVDs.
I think
because
so.
And because well, we're getting up to next coming in because they adore. I think by the time this came out, we be Joker. I want to say I feel like I remember. I remember bought this DVD from when it came out, which is something I rarely ever do. I'm gonna go buy like a DVD guy, and so for me, invest money into it just came out, so I paid like $25 for this.
Yeah, I got 2 discs, so yeah, I probably paid about that much too.
So for me to invest into it was pretty impressive at the time, and they got me because I do remember liking this when it came out. I don't know.
Same. Like, I mean, this still wasn't terrible, but it wasn't what I remembered. Like, because I'm right there with you, Chuck. Like, I thought this movie, the whole movie, was the perspective of like people. Like and that's really was just what the first story was. The first story was the perspective of Batman from these kids. I thought that was the whole movie, and it's not. We actually get different stories throughout the movie.
So, Kevin Conroy does the voice for Batman in this.
He does,
which is fantastic. But I did not like him doing the voice for the Bruce Wayne for the
when he went to go like train in India.
Well, like just that Bruce Wayne. Kevin Conroy's voice is too manly for that Bruce Wayne.
So allegedly, they were going to get somebody else for Bruce Wayne, for the young Bruce Wayne, but Kevin kind of convinced him, was like, well, why don't you just give me a shot? I don't think he did terrible.
No, it's not. He did a great job doing the voice itself. I'm just saying that, like, whenever I hear that Batman voice for Bruce Wayne, I expect somebody with like this fucking, massive chin and like.
He got that in the last one with his
true
chin all the way down to his tits. That was weird. Like, I didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
I will say this though. Talk about that very first one. The kid that helps Batman, I believe his name was B-Devil. Batman says, good. He says, "Good job, kid," and then he like goes off. The voice actor that voiced him is what's his name? Scott Menville, which I'm sure neither one of you know who that is. However, correct. He does the voice of Robin on Teen Titans. So
that's funny.
When he says "Good job, kid," in my head, it's he's sizing you up to be Robin later.
Got to orphan him first. He had to find out where his parents were so he could kill him.
Exactly.
It's time to get a new Robin. I broke the last one. Better go murder somebody's parents.
Has there ever been a storyline where he finds a Robin that he likes, he thinks would be really good, but has parents, so Batman has to like make them sleep?
I like that. So Tim Drake, Tim Drake being Robin was him finding out who Batman was and trying to convince him that he needed a Robin to make him, because at the time Jason Todd had just died. Batman was becoming meaner and like beating up villains more than he should have. So Tim was like, hey, you definitely need a Robin to kind of like cool you down. At the time, he still had a dad. Now his dad was I think he was wheelchair bound, like he was injured and like was on the recovery, so his dad was like never around. There's that one. I know Stephanie Brown, I think her mom was gone, but her dad was around. But her dad is also the villain Clue Master. So it was one of those things where while her dad was around, her dad was in jail. So
interesting.
And that's the only other, because obviously Dick Grayson, his parents were dead. Technically, in the retcon after Crisis, Jason Todd's parents were alive. At least one of them was for a hot minute. And then
so Batman killed him?
Well, Joker actually killed him. But
we got a canon.
Well,
we need an event. Canon event. Every Robin's parents have to die.
prior to Crisis on Infinite Earth, Jason Todd was just a copy paste Dick Grayson. He had an acrobatic background. His parents were killed in the circus, and then he became Robin because Batman saw it and felt bad. Post Crisis, he was a street urchin who tried to steal Batman's tires, and then in the Death in the Family storyline, what?
He tried to steal Batman's tires
Off the Batmobile, yeah. Actually, no, he did steal the Batmobile
Yeah,
tires.
he did steal
them. And which is dumb.
okay.
But in the Death in the Family, Robin finds out that his mother is still alive, and he tracks him down to 3 different people. And one of them was working for the Joker, and ultimately Joker killed both of them. So
interesting. Okay, cool.
Death in the Family is one of the better Batman storylines, in my opinion.
Mm.
But that's
is there an animated movie about it? I think I've seen
there is.
Yeah.
Well, no. That's Robin Under the Red Hood, which they have that scene in there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, Gotham Knights, this movie.
because we gotta get. Sorry, guys, we do have to get going on this one because my phone is dying. So.
Oh yeah, you should probably
movie kind of blow. Joey,
Okay, so when it switches over to anime, right? Because it goes from this garbage cartoonish thing to this anime garbage thing.
Right. So the opening is Gorilla's animation. So it's like a Gorilla's music video, and then it just becomes a flat out anime. Not even anime.
I mean, there was one that had the art style was reminiscent of Kelly Jones, which we've talked about before. We've covered for Daphne Byrne. Kelly Jones art. I still have mad respect for Kelly Jones. He does a wonderful horror art stuff.
Yeah.
But this one was because it was the one where he fights off Croc in the sewers.
Oh, okay.
And Scarecrow. He fights off Scarecrow.
Where the old guy is like a frickin' narc because he tells on Killer Croc to Batman.
Yes, true.
But it's also the only one I like. But continue.
Okay, but then the rest of them were very anime, like peak anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cops in the second short that we had that were getting shot at in Arkham City or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah. What was up with the Narrows? They just let the
inmates take over. I don't know.
That makes no sense.
Those cops are sitting in the middle of this firefight in their basic car, and they're just getting turned to Swiss cheese. And we're expected to believe that they just sat in there without getting shot once.
That's the arc.
And then not only that, then Batman pulls the one cop up onto the top of the building.
Crispin Allen, yeah.
Yeah, goes down there, starts fighting whatever with the other guys. That cop jumps off the building, lands directly on his legs, does not break them.
He jumps off the third story.
Oh, it's only the third story. That's my bad. But it does not hurt him. I think that was another thing that I didn't like about that was that they could have drawn that a little bit better or done it situationed it a little bit better to where that was more believable. But
did in that scene.
points. So.
Yeah, 100% anime at
Yeah.
points. In that one in particular, Batman walking through the fire, I thought looked really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like, and then we get the next like little thing where he's got like this bulletproof little like bullet deflector thing. Was fucking stupid. But
that was not great.
For that one, I did write down hero kills because when he punches that dude after the guy shoots him and it reflects through the bullet into that kid, when he punched him, he definitely broke that dude's face and neck.
Oh, I 100% think he killed Deadshot. I mean, he did.
Oh yeah, no, I have that one down too.
When he punches him off the train car.
Well, okay, so he punches him into a tanker.
Yeah,
and the tanker crumples. The amount of pressure that is on one of those tankers that causes those to crumple is mad insane. And so he would have had to have hit him like superhuman strength, and it would have just caved his head in.
He also would have actually probably killed him when he smashed his fucking head into a beam.
Right? Yeah.
Like that. I don't care. He had a metal plate helmet. That head would have been disintegrated.
Yeah,
it's chopped off right at the brain. It's gone.
That's crazy. Anyway.
Okay, another thing. When Batman deflects the bullet aimed for Gordon, while on the dude, fucking Deadshot is Deadshot is on a moving train hitting a moving target. He would have to have like a high powered rifle to make that shot, right?
Well, that is the point of Deadshot, though. He makes these impossible shots because he's just that good.
And I'm not saying that he couldn't make the shot. What I'm saying is his bullet would have been one of the fastest bullets ever shot just to make that shot, to make it accurate because of how the lineup with the shot goes. There's no way that Batman was able to watch where he shot from and deflect that bullet before it hit Gordon and killed him. Also, did we really need another hashing out of Batman's origin story with seeing his parents die again? Like, I know that we can't have a Batman movie without, my parents are dead. But Little Orphan Batty, like I'm so sick of seeing it. Like I want to go back in time and kill the Waynes.
I think that's like kind of a thing that they've been bringing up, that we're like origin story burnout at this point, because we know all these characters. We've been watching all of these movies, and every movie seems to have stupid origin story, slightly changed in some ways, but they always keep all the same elements. And it's like, but we have to remember, they have to make these people who have never heard this character before and are going to buy this movie because the art on the front looks cool.
Yeah. Which is fine, but look, if you've never heard of the character before, then you're jumping in the wrong spot for this. and
I disagree, but that's how I tell the origin story.
When did this come out, Joey? 2000 what?
2008.
2008. If by 2008 this is the first time you have ever interacted with Batman, no, it's not. Okay.
Again, because like Chuck said earlier, this was couched as being a bridge between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
But we are also just so saturated in Batman at this point that there's no way that nobody knows.
Well, yes,
that somebody doesn't know Batman's story.
If you're buying this because you were told this is a in between for those two movies,
then you already know.
Batman Begins.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I also have a note in here that says Batman gets cops respect, so you know he's a bad guy.
Well, I mean, the entire time with that scene, Crispin Allen is like pissed because Batman is just like doing his work, doing all their work.
Well, if the cops in Gotham were better, Batman wouldn't have to do it.
Batman wouldn't exist. Yes, you're right. But like, he is getting mad because Gordon is basically giving them a babysitting job when he's like, we should be going after the Russians and Maroni. Like those two, the two gangs, they're tearing up the city. We need to take care of them. And like, I think I actually have written down here, right after Batman saved his life from being blown up, it's like, just because Batman saved his life, he now gets respect for Batman. No, he is right for being pissed off at Batman. Like, Batman is interfering, and especially, I think this was either in one of the shows or one of the comics. Batman, like, capturing these villains, these bad guys, and giving it to the cops. Cops have really nothing to hold them on. They can't go to court. Batman's not going to show up in court to be like, yes, he's the one that did this. These guys will be able to walk free every time.
Well, that's because it's not actually about catching them and stopping crime. It's about a rich kid getting to live out his cop fantasies.
I mean, we have talked about that before in the comics. Probably in the movies, yes.
Okay, so Batman and Killer Croc, right? He gets his shoulder like fucking munched on.
I wrote down, was he wearing hockey pads? Is that why it bit through?
but he bites like straight through him. I mean, like you can see the blood dripping out of his arm.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that muscles got torn in that shoulder. Like there's no way with Killer Croc's mouth, how big it is, how hard he bit, how much blood was seeping out of him, that he was still using his arm even 35%.
Yeah.
I mean, like a normal crocodile can rip a human arm off clean like nothing. And it's a giant man alligator.
Yeah.
And he just totally.
Yeah. Yeah, he was able to use a grappling hook while carrying the cardinal, which is his whole weight plus the cardinal's weight. Nah.
Yep.
Okay, anime. Cool, like it's anime. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
They're gonna.
You're not wrong.
Like this isn't even comic book logic. This is anime logic, which is even worse than comic book logic.
see, the thing about it is, like, I don't mind most animes, but I do not like Batman as an anime. But I just don't like Batman either. So
I don't think Batman is a good media for like a good source to make anime out of. He doesn't have any of the anime tropes.
Yeah, because he doesn't have superpowers.
I mean, not wrong.
Well, very real. I mean, like, yeah, he's a detective. That's boring. I don't know, like the things that make animes good are fight scenes and like, dialogue. Batman also has not good dialogue most of the time.
That's accurate, also.
Yeah, true.
So when Batman finds all those guns in the sewer, like, what the fuck was up with that?
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure with that one either.
Because, like, I will admit, I fell asleep a little bit during this because I found it really boring. But I didn't fall asleep for, like, long periods of time while I was watching this. And, like, I remember him going into that area, and then, like, I closed my eyes and then I opened them, and he's just, like, holding all these guns while Alfred's like, very good, sir. Should we take these guns to your manor, or do you just want to sit down there and play with them? And then Batman's like, all these guns.
Yeah,
like,
it was that scene because like he'd been shot, and that's when we get the like flashbacks of his training and all that stuff. And then when he gets to the point where Alfred can come get him, he like falls down and feels the gun, and then starts digging through and finds literally a cache of guns.
Right, because everybody knows that. Yeah, because the sewer is the best place to keep your, metallic firearms. Because definitely nothing bad's going to happen to him sitting down in a dank, dirty sewer.
But like, yeah, no, I didn't understand unless he was trying to find them to get them to the cops so that he can then like.
No, the cops have their own guns to shoot people with.
Well, but yeah, they like to use the bad guys' guns.
That's true. They throw him down. Like, look, he had a gun.
Exactly. It's like that's my only thought is he was going to give them to the police so that they could have like closed some cases. Maybe I don't know because then the next section they're all in a box that Alfred keeps tripping over, and Bruce is just like, yeah, I'm not afraid of the guns. I just I respect them, and I just need to know how they
picked it up bare fucking handed.
Yeah.
Which means that if he does turn it into the cops, Bruce Wayne's fingerprints are all over that gun.
Yeah, but he's a rich person, so him having his fingerprints on the gun makes sense.
No. My thing about that is like when they go to run the things and Batman turns in guns with Bruce Wayne's fingerprints on them. I mean, everybody already knows he's Batman, and they just let him pretend that they don't because he's rich.
I'll definitely say Lucius, like in this one in particular, the one episode with Lucius in it, he 100% knows that he's Batman. Like he's
Look at it.
literally
Look
putting
at
the gyro thing in
Oh,
completely off subject, but look at this little son of a bitch already over there eating my fucking muffins.
Oh jeez. Anyway.
Yeah, but like they don't even hide the fact they know it.
Yeah.
At least that like what we saw in Batman Begins, like Lucius knows, but he won't admit it.
And we'll see that again in Dark Knight. Yeah.
He has never been told that he's Batman. He may have suspicions about it, but he doesn't know for certain, and he's never going to ask because he has plausible deniability then.
Exactly.
Right.
Because he's not going to lie for the little rich boy. He's just also not going to tell the truth.
But we have this movie that just is like out, like, oh yeah, tongue in cheek, we don't know, wink, wink. Like they don't hide it. You know what I mean? And I think it does kind of. I don't know. I hated it. I did that interaction. I thought that was stupid. I understand what the point of it was. The
really
sound creator. Sorry.
Yeah, no, there wasn't. Well, especially and IMDb kind of pointed out that sound like a bullet speed would be faster than sound. So if that gyroscopic shield like responds to sound, the bullet would hit him before the sound does. So
it just pushes it further through his body then.
Maybe.
Right, because like the whole point is that the bullet breaks the sound barrier.
Yeah, that's why it makes the loud noises because it breaks the sound barrier.
Going faster.
So
anyway,
yeah,
I didn't get it. So I thought there was a payoff for that thing, right? Like at the end, going up against like Deadshot or something. Is that? But it didn't.
Nope.
I don't. Maybe the theory is like he does have things for the counter to all of his like rogues gallery of villains, but at what cost is it worth to him because he essentially killed who all wanted to like who hated him. I mean, Batman was helping this dude got shot in the neck because Batman also legitimately a criminal and was getting turned to police because of Batman. Like, I didn't like that story. I guess.
No, you're fine. I get it.
Although I do think the cache of guns that he made, I assumed that was everybody was throwing their guns into the sewer to get rid of them.
That's what it was.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he was originally gathering them up. Well, because he was like really focused and really weird when Alfred found him, and he's just sitting there holding all these guns, looking at him like dumbfounded. But like my thought process is he was he found one gun and was like, this looks like it was from whatever. Because there was the one, I think before this, where the guy who got shot because of the gyroscopic bulletproof shield thing, like he threw his gun in the sewer or in the water or something. Right? Is that before this one?
That was before this one. It's the little like Russian dude. Yeah. And whenever like he takes him to the hospital, he pulls his gun on the cops and then he like throws it away afterwards.
Yeah. So my guess would be that Batman found this gun. He's like, oh, this looks just like this one gun. Is there more? He starts digging and, like I said, finds this whole cache. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but it's Batman.
I will say this: like actually talking with you guys about it, my score is dropping a little bit. So
yeah, but okay, so let's talk about the cool stuff. I like the clock and like Scarecrow culty, like he's all the like.
Yeah, the Scarecrow is pretty punk in this.
Yeah, red shit, like kind of cult leader version. I like cult leader Scarecrow. I think he's super cool. Like it is a nice little nuance to the hallucinogenic power that the business stuff. He doesn't always just do it to create fear to make weak. He also did it to control.
Yes.
Yeah, which is like I feel like that gets lost in the we didn't see that in Batman Begins.
Yeah, it's not one of those things because it's something in the comics, but it's not something that is like explicitly said a lot in the comics.
Right.
It's usually only, hey, this is fear. It's going to make you become a bubbling idiot, and I can basically just like freak you out, kill you, do whatever I want with you because you're now a scared little boy curled up in a ball. But yeah, no, like there have been moments where he used the fear to control somebody by using their fear against them. So yeah, like I agree with you. That scene was really cool.
Yeah, I like the scene. That's cool. I did. Yeah, the plot to RC storyline and not like it kind of doesn't make any sense in Arkham City either of why this entire like city now exists out of nowhere. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I just because I love that and didn't
Oh,
I
yeah,
did
no,
not
it's
yeah I ever bought the concept of it. It was like why wouldn't you just like this?
But-
There's so much crime blocked off.
but that makes sense based off of Arkham Asylum game and how that ended. So yeah, the progression is they just took over all Gotham City. If you're following the movie, yes, Arkham Asylum in the movie, it got blown up by Roz and Scarecrow. So yes, all the villains came out and were running around Narrows, but I'm pretty sure they caught them all, right? Like they didn't just shut off the Narrows to be, oh yep, now all the villains just own this part of the city. Bye, everybody else. We're sorry we can't help you. If you want to come out,
it was the poor part of town. So hyper realistically, the cops would do that.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, sorry, we just need to control the situation. We're not gonna actually do our job.
Yeah,
it's all right. It'd be insane.
Unless
they're black.
But that's really all I've got. Ron, you got anything else?
No, actually, I covered all of my notes.
Okay. Chuck, you got anything?
Yeah, India had an interesting story, and I always see the last scene between him and Deadshot. Like that's a thing that always like put on Instagram stuff. Like this is why Batman is so bad. And yeah, for some reason, even though I've seen the movie, completely forgot that this was in the movie. Like I forgot that this was the line of the movie, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen the.
Yeah, I mean, I also haven't seen this probably since it came out. So
I remember the kid. And I don't remember anything else after it.
Yeah,
I must have stopped watching it or something. But the Deadshot scene's cool. Like it's finally like a cool fight scene. But I have a lot of issues with it. I hate the idea of characters. It's why I love and hate Bullseye as well. I hate characters whose power is they never fucking miss, and then they just happen to always go up against the guy who they can't hit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, tell me more. Have him make shots that were like possible from like do multiple things. He should have been sprinkled in through the whole.
I mean, technically he was, because it got revealed at the end that he was the one that killed the surveyor.
Yeah, or whatever.
The one with the gyroscope. So like we said earlier, all of these are connected in a way throughout the whole movie, but it's very subtle, very small. So yeah.
So kill count?
Our kill count, which I'm not sure if Chuck is frozen and we're about ready to lose him or what.
I think he just struck a pose.
I mean, he's definitely struck the pose, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lose him here in a second. Anyway, our kill count is 8. Could be 9 if I counted the man in black that Batman chops his head off but that was just what's her name? Elaborating on the story.
Yeah,
So I think it's just 8.
that's fair.
Okay. What we got for bingo?
So the bingo, we've got hero kills because I don't care what anybody says. He definitely killed the dude that shot him when he had his shield up, and then he definitely killed Deadshot at the end of that.
That's weird.
Oh my God, there's 2 Chucks.
Streamlabs just crashed on me. What happened there? That was weird.
That's fair.
That was weird. But then we have government interference, we have unexplainable science, we have comic logic, we have origin flashback, and we have dead parents. That was all I really paid attention to. I was having a really hard time focusing on this movie, though, if I'm being really honest with you, because it was not keeping my attention at all. Like, I had to stop 4 or 5 different times. I'd stop it, I'd go out, I'd like do some dishes or whatever, I'd come back in here, I'd watch a little bit of it. I would stop because it just there were just so many parts of it that were just so just didn't catch my attention at all personally, I guess. But I don't know.
That's fair.
Chuck, Spawn Cape.
So this is the type of animation that I really don't like all much. I like the first one. I like the Gorillas style music video art. I really like. We got like super young Batman, like where he was learning from not Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Didn't like that style of anime, and I really hate the dark, thick line anime look, like what we see in the last he fights Deadshot, where there's this real heavy drawn black line, and also everybody's face is super elongated. Like, I don't know, really pronounced sharp like beaky chains. I don't know. I'm gonna say 5 out of. Wait, figure out the numbers have to be close there for now. 5 out.
Well, I mean, you figure that out, but if I figure it's a little late to be changing our system.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep saying it. It's 5 out of 46 and 2/4.
Okay.
That's a half, Chuck.
I stand by it.
So what do you give a score for this one then, out of 10?
Right, is this a Batman movie? I mean, he's a cop.
Yeah.
I remember liking this like when it first came out. I thought it was cool. I really loved the story where we get like Batman and we get Vampire Batman. I like Scarecrow, but I also like Scarecrow. He's my favorite Batman villain. But this is not. I had to pay money and that bumped out. I'm gonna say 4.43.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.43.
Ron, what you got?
So, I mean, I've already told you I didn't like this. It didn't really keep my attention. There were some things that were okay in it, but there was not anything that was like particularly stuck out to me or was like particularly interesting. I gave it a 3.37.
Okay.
And what about you, Joey?
I remembered liking this more, but
before you talked to Chuck and I.
well, yes, but at the same time, though, like those are definitely nostalgic glasses for better, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like it, I like I said earlier, I'd only watched it the one time when it came out in 2008. So it's been over almost 20 years, 15, if you will, and I don't know. Just watching it again, I honestly don't see myself watching this anytime soon. Like it wasn't terrible in my eyes, but at the same time, them telling me when I bought it that it's supposed to be connected to the Dark Knight trilogy, and it really isn't. I take some points off. I didn't mind the anime style. Maybe that's because I watch a lot of anime. I read a lot of manga. Like that didn't bother me
See,
at all.
I don't mind anime. Like I like anime. I did not like Batman
sure,
specifically as an anime.
and that's fine. And that's fine. There was the one with the gyroscope thing. Like that Batman suit looked very weird compared to, say, the one with Deadshot, which is the background that we have here. So like I don't know. But I also did like I was fine with the very first story with the kids, the unreliable narrators one, and I really did enjoy the Killer Croc and Scarecrow one. So that being said, like I gave it a 4.99. Like it's right there on the cusp where if I were to watch it again, I wouldn't feel bad, but at the same time, I don't see myself watching this again anytime soon. So,
all right.
But that gives us a combined score of 4.26, which drops it in at number 74, just behind Batman the movie from 66 and just above The Return of Swamp Thing.
Yeah, that sounds fairly accurate.
Not a bad spot. It's in between a couple of mediocre movies.
I think this was a notorious animated movie, which was we were expecting it to be better than it actually was.
That's accurate.
I can agree with that.
So, Chuck, where can they find you at, bud?
Oh wow! I mean, hypothetically speaking, if you want on the internet, you could find over at Kicked Out of the Hood, no E and kicked, and Kicked Out of the Hood, no E and kicked, over on Instagram and TikTok. And you can find my hobby page on Instagram over at Kicked Out of the Hobby, no E and kicked. Ronald, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Good at This Game. I don't really post a lot on TikTok, but I've got an account there, whatever. But you can also find my art on Instagram at Good Art This Game. And obviously you can find me wherever you can find this podcast. And you can find my shirt that I made for the podcast on TeePublic and Redbubble, except the other way around.
Yep, you can go with those.
Joey, where can they find you at?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Comic Rundown, on Threads at Comic Book Rundown for both those, sorry. Email us comicbookrundown@gmail.com. If you do, we'll read it on the upcoming episode. Our song was done by Cam. And like Ron said, we've got merch over on Redbubble and TeePublic. Also, what? I said it right.
I know. I was laughing because I was hoping you were going to mess up like I messed up.
Oh, okay. Also, if you want to rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice, you can. If you ever do, we'll read it on an upcoming episode. So, with that being said, our next movie is going to be Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Ron, you finally get to make it through the whole entire movie.
Hopefully. Yeah.
This is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. If we goat Empire Strikes Back, which was my number one, this would be my now number one. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to get to not only get Ron's how long it takes him to fall asleep, but also where it sits. I have not watched it since I saw it in theaters. So I'm very much riding the high of that. I watched it in theaters and I loved it. It is my hope is that it's not a one scene movie. Not that it was. Like, I don't want it to now become a one scene movie. And I look back at it and go, man, the rest of this really isn't that great. And it's only because of this one scene that I really love about it. So
I think you'll be pleasantly happy because
everything
about it, like 3 scenes that was just like amazing.
Yeah, everything is about it. I love Shore Troopers. I think they're rad. I love that armor design. I thought it was cool and it was different.
But we should save that for the next movie.
No, Ron, I want your phone to die.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Anyway. We will catch you next time.
Bye.
Oh, we have like 10 minutes still? Well, I'll just slowly sing this thing. Okay. Snap-a-day and scoop-a-doo and doop-a-doo and do-a-scoo. Time for Scooby-Doo